Then the next sutta is 4.6.57. On a certain occasion, the Exalted One was staying among the Kolians at a township of the Kolians called Sajanela. Then the Exalted One in the morning, robing himself and taking outer robe and bowl, approached the dwelling of Supavasa of the Kolians, and on reaching it sat down on a seat made ready. Then Supavasa of the Kolians with her own hand satisfied and served the Exalted One with choice food, both hard and soft. On seeing that the Exalted One had eaten his fill and had washed both hand and bowl, Supavasa of the Kolians sat down at one side. As she sat thus, the Exalted One said this to Supavasa of the Kolians: Supavasa, the Aryan woman disciple who gives food, gives four things to the receiver thereof. What for? She gives life, she gives beauty, she gives happiness, she gives strength. Moreover, giving life, she is a partaker of life, be it deva or human. Giving beauty, she is a partaker of beauty, be it deva or human. Giving happiness, giving strength, she is a partaker of it, be it as deva or human. Yes, Supavasa, the Aryan woman disciple who gives food, gives these four things to the receiver thereof. This short sutta, you can see that during the Buddha's time, after the lay people gave a meal to the monks, generally they gave a very short talk. Like in this, the Buddha only said a few lines, and as thanksgiving. And later, maybe perhaps, for a monk to give a short discourse every time he has a meal, after some time he runs out of ideas what to talk. So from there, it's understandable how later monks started chanting. Because chanting will be easier. You chant the same chant again and again every day, instead of having to think of something to talk. And then these four qualities, if we give food to the monk, the Buddha said we give four things. The first one is life. These four things in Pali is called Ayu, Vano, Sukhang, Balang. Sometimes you hear us do the chant. You can hear us chant Ayu, Vano, Sukhang, Balang. Ayu is life. Because when you give food to a monk, it sustains his life, so he can live longer. Second one, it gives beauty, because when he has food, especially good food, the body looks better. The body is more beautiful looking. And then the third one is happiness. You give food to a monk, he's happy. And then the fourth one, it gives him strength. The body, he takes some good food and the body becomes strong. So in the same way, the Buddha said, when you give these four things to a monk, you also will receive it. And you will receive it either in the human form or the deva form, or whatever place you are reborn, you would get these four things back. So whenever we give food, these four things we give, and so it comes back to us very naturally. So the next sutta is 4.6.51. The Buddha said, monks, there are these four floods of merit, floods of things profitable, bringing happiness, giving the best things, whose fruit is happiness, leading to the heaven world, leading to what is dear, delightful and pleasant, to profit and happiness. What are the four? To him, monks, who is the giver of a robe, using which a monk is able to attain and abide in unbounded concentration of mind. To him comes a flood of merit, a flood of things profitable, bringing happiness. To him, monks, who is the giver of alms food, using which a monk is able to attain and abide in unbounded concentration of mind. To him comes a flood of merit, a flood of things profitable, bringing happiness. To him, monks, who is the giver of lodging, using which a monk is able to attain and abide in unbounded concentration of mind. To him comes a flood of merit, a flood of things profitable, bringing happiness. To him, monks, who is the giver of requisites and medicines for use in sickness, using which a monk is able to attain and abide in unbounded concentration of mind. To him comes a flood of merit, a flood of things profitable, bringing happiness, giving the best things, whose fruit is happiness, leading to the heaven world, leading to what is dear, delightful and pleasant, to profit and happiness. These monks are the four floods of merit, floods of things profitable. Moreover, monks, if an Aryan disciple be possessed of these four floods of merit, floods of things profitable, it is no easy thing to take the measure of his merit, so as to say, such and such is the extent of the flood of merit, and so forth. No, it is to be reckoned as an incalculable, immeasurable, mighty mass of merit. Just as monks, it is no easy thing to take the measure of the water in the mighty ocean, so as to say, so many gallons of water, so many hundreds, so many thousands, so many hundreds of thousands of gallons of water. No, it is to be reckoned as an incalculable, immeasurable, mighty mass of merit. So in this sutta, the Buddha is saying, if you give the requisites to a monk, and the monk uses the requisite so that he can practice, and he attains unbounded concentration of mind, and then you as a supporter will get a flood of merit which is so great that it is immeasurable. How is it the Buddha is talking about a monk getting unbounded concentration of mind? Why doesn't the Buddha say wisdom? Because unbounded concentration of mind leads to wisdom. That is what is implied here. The Buddha is not saying that a person gets wisdom straight away, because the precondition for wisdom is unbounded concentration, deep concentration of mind. That's why concentration is always stressed by the Buddha. Elsewhere, later on we will see some other sutta where the Buddha said that the condition for wisdom is this deep concentration. The next sutta is 5.15.148. Monks, these five are a good man's gifts. What five? He gives a gift in faith, with deference, in time, with unconstrained heart. He gives a gift without hurt to self or others. And in giving a gift in faith, wheresoever the full result of that gift ripens, there comes wealth, riches, and great property, and he is fair to look upon, handsome, with the wondrous beauty of the lotus. And in giving a gift with deference, wheresoever the full result of that gift ripens, his children and wife, his slaves, messengers, and workfolk hearken diligently unto him, lend ear, and serve him with understanding heart. And in giving a gift in time, wheresoever that ripens, there comes wealth, and the goods that come to him in time are abundant. And in giving a gift with unconstrained heart, wheresoever that ripens, there comes wealth, and he bends the mind to enjoy the fullness of the fivefold joy of the senses. And in giving a gift without hurt to self or others, wheresoever the full result of that gift ripens, there comes wealth, riches, and great property, and never from anywhere comes hurt to his property, either from fire or water, rajas or thieves, or impious heirs. Verily, monks, these are the five gifts of a good man. That's the end of the sutta. This is quite a good sutta. It tells you the result of giving with different conditions. A person who gives with faith, as in having a lot of faith, because in giving, you always, the result of giving is always that wealth comes back to you, riches and great property. And of course, depending on how much you give, and also depends on how virtuous you are and the person to whom you give. But when a person gives in faith, having a lot of faith, in addition to wealth, he is born very beautiful or very handsome. And the second one, when a person gives with respect, then the result of it, in addition to wealth, then the children and wife, slaves, messengers and workers all listen to him and serve him with an understanding heart. That's the result of showing respect. So because you show respect when you give, then in addition to wealth, those people around you all show respect to you. The third one, a person gives in good time. In addition to wealth, the wealth comes to him also in a good time when he needs it, whenever he needs it. And giving in good time means when a person really needs it at that time, and that is the time to give. Like when somebody asks you for help, and that person is really desperate, and you pretend you have something else to do, or you have nothing to give him. And another day when that person is rich, and then you go and maybe make him a gift. But that's not the time he wants. When he's already rich, you make a gift to him, he doesn't appreciate. It's only when he is very poor and is in need, you help him. That's the type of person usually when we think of our friends, when we think of those who have done us a service, we always remember the person who helped us when we were down and out, when we really needed help. That is the type of person who is a true friend. So when a person gives in good time like this, he will also, the wealth will come to him in good time also. Then another one, the fourth one, giving with unconstrained heart. That means there are some people give with a constrained heart, In other words, for example, they want to give, then they think, I want to give $10 is too much. I think I'll give $5. $5 too much. I think I make a gift of $2 or $1. So, or sometimes he make a gift after giving, then he goes home, then he regrets. So if you regret, then your blessing is reduced. So the result of it is next time when you in your next life or something, you are born and there's a lot of wealth, you come by a lot of wealth, you won't know how to enjoy it. The joy cannot arise because at the moment when you gave that gift, you had no joy in you. So next time, when the result ripens and great wealth comes to you, you have no joy in it, you don't know how to enjoy in it. There's a well-known story in the Dhammapada commentaries about a man who made a gift to a Pacceka Buddha. He was a very stingy person in that story. And his wife liked to give to monks and renunciants who came by the house and beggars and all that. But he never approved of his wife giving to these people who came to beg for food. He thought he's wasting his wealth. He thought he should save all that food, all that expenditure, and instead give it to his workers because his workers will work for him in return. So one day he was in a very good mood and he told his wife that the wife could give whatever food she liked to give that day. So happened a Pacceka Buddha came by and the wife cooked some good food and gave it to that Pacceka Buddha. And when the Pacceka Buddha left the house and walked away, this stingy man happened to come back. And he saw this Pachika Buddha, this monk going away, and having come from his house, he knew that this monk must have got some food from his wife. So he stopped the monk and he asked the monk to open he opened the monk's bowl himself to see what was in the bowl. And when he saw the good food in the bowl, he closed the lid and then he went back and was not happy. He thought his wife wasted all his good food. So because of that, in the next 7 times, because of having given to a Pacheka Buddha, the next 7 times he was born as the richest man in that town. In that town for 7 lifetimes he was the richest man. But every time he was born as a rich man, he was so stingy. He used all the old things, and he ate also stale food, never knew how to enjoy his wealth. He was as good as a poor man for 7 lifetimes. And at the end of 7 lifetimes, having used up his good fortune and not having planted new blessings, after that lifetime he went to hell because his good karma bank account was depleted. Every time we come and enjoy life, we are using up our good karma bank account, our blessings bank account. If we don't know how to replenish it, it all gets used up. So we must know, we understand the law of karma. We know as we enjoy now, we keep saving, doing good deeds, and so that our blessings bank account, our merit bank account will increase, and we can continue to enjoy life. And then the last one, giving a gift without hurt to self or others. This is very important. That means when you give a gift, you must not harm other beings, you must not harm yourself. Not harm other beings means you must not go, for example, go to the market, you select a chicken, a live chicken or a fish and ask them to slaughter. And then after that you go and make an offering. That is causing harm to others. Causing harm to yourself means that you make that offering and it harms you in some way. And from this sutta, actually you find a contradiction with our Jataka tales. Because in our Jataka tales, there's a story about how the Bodhisattva or Bodhisattva in his previous life threw himself to feed down the hill, committed suicide to feed a tiger, a hungry tiger and the cubs. And this contradicts the sutta. That's why that Jataka tale is not quite acceptable, because it's not in the original discourses of the Buddha. It's just something that was compiled later. It's a kind of folk tale. And also the other Jataka story about how the Buddha gave away his wife and children to a beggar. That is also not acceptable, because when you give away, at least if he had given away his wife and his children to a millionaire, a wealthy man, so that they have a good life, that is understandable. That to give the wife and children away to a beggar who beat the children and probably beat the wife, and that is not logical. So there are a lot of these kinds of contradictions. When we study the sutta, we have to think, reflect on it. Then you will see some of these points. The next sutta is 8.4.35. Monks, there are these 8 rebirths due to making gifts. What 8? Herein, monks, a man makes a gift to a recluse or Brahmin in the shape of food, drink, clothes, vehicle, flowers, scent, ointment, bedding, dwelling and lights. He gives hoping for a return. He sees wealthy nobles, Brahmins and householders surrounded by, attended by, enjoying the 5 strands of sensual pleasure, and he thinks, if only I can be reborn among them on the breaking up of the body after death. And he fixes his mind on this thought, directs his attention to it, and makes the thought become. His mind, set on low things, is not made to become for the beyond, and he is reborn after death among the wealthy men. And I say this of the virtuous, not of the vicious. Monks, the mental aspiration of the virtuous prospers because of its purity. Then again, monks, a man making a similar gift and expecting a return, hearing that the company of the 4 royal devas are long-lived, beautiful and very happy, might wish to be reborn among them, or among the devas of the 33 Tavatimsa heaven, or among the Yama devas, or among the Tusita devas, or among the devas who delight in creating, or among the devas who have power over others' creations. He fixes his mind on this thought, directs his attention to it, and makes the thought become. His mind, set on low things, is not made to become for the beyond, and he is reborn after death among those devas. And I say this of the virtuous, not of the vicious. Monks, the mental aspiration of the virtuous prospers because of its purity. Or hearing that the devas of Brahma's retinue are long-lived, beautiful and very happy, he might wish to be reborn among them, and he fixes his mind thereon, and is reborn after death among those devas. And I say this of the virtuous, not of the vicious, of him who is rid of lust, not of him who lusts. For the mental aspiration of the virtuous monks prospers because of its lustlessness. Monks, these are the 8 rebirths due to making gifts. That's the end of the sutta. So here the Buddha is saying that a person, a virtuous person, makes offerings to recluses and Brahmins, and then he gives hoping to get something in return, and he makes an aspiration to be born as a wealthy man or as a deva, and he, because he is virtuous, his aspiration succeeds, and he is born among them. But this, the Buddha said, his mind is set on low things. That means low things means he wants to be reborn, so he does not he does not go beyond. Beyond means out of this world. Whereas if a person makes a gift without any selfish thought of getting something in return, then he practices selflessly, then there is a chance for him to go to the beyond, because the beyond is selfless. So it is not wise when we make an offering, when we do charity, to think of getting something in return.